Okay guys, today I'm going to make another video, and the theme of this video today is called Black is Beautiful. And I like to share all the people in my life, all the black people in my life that has had a beautiful, a great impact in my life. And I like to pay this like homage, you know. I like to give my thanks, my appreciation. Hello Olga, hello Yasmini. I like to show my appreciation for all the people in my life, all the black people in my life, especially today. That's what this video is about. Who's had just a great impact in my life and changed my life, you know, for the better. So I'm gonna start with probably the one who's the closest to me, and that is my capoeira mestre, Mestre Amém. I met him when I was 5 years old here in LA. He's from Bahia, he's from North Brazil, and my dad took me to him. Right, he had made a film at the time called Only the Strong, and my dad was inspired and he took me to him. I was only 5 years old, living here in LA, and at the time I couldn't do it, you know. I thought it was, I mean, as a 5-year-old it looked awesome, but I couldn't do it because we lived kind of far, you know, and I ended up, you know, not starting it. Anyways, 20 years later, when I was 25 years old, you know, by sort of chance, you know, just kind of following my intuition, I was driving back from work. I was 25, and I saw, like, in my neighborhood, I saw this sign saying capoeira. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go in there. And I went in there, and I asked for more information, and the lady at the front desk was like, oh, actually, you know, Mestre Amém, who's, you know, who owns this, etc., the main teacher is here. He, you know, maybe you can talk to him and get a better idea of what we do here. And we had this conversation, this awesome conversation for like an hour or something, you know, in Portuguese. And, you know, I decided to start doing capoeira, practicing capoeira. When I got back home, you know, at some point later, the next day or so, I told my dad, hey, you know, I'm starting capoeira. It's, you know, something like that, you know. And he's like, oh, cool, where, you know, who's your master? And I'm like, oh, it's you know, like it's like a few blocks away from home. His name is Mestre Amém. And my dad's like, dude, Mestre Amém, that's who I took you to when you were 5 years old. You know, and anyway, since then I've been practicing capoeira, and capoeira changed my life, you know, in a good way. It enriched my life. It brought me so many beautiful things, you know. It brought me courage, strength, all this stuff. At the time, I was working at a French restaurant, and I was being bullied by the chef, you know, a French chef with a Michelin star, blah blah blah. Tell you what, his food was still not better than my grandma's food. But anyways, you know, and I was practicing capoeira at the time, and capoeira is what gave me strength to stand up for myself. You know, he would say hateful things, you know, use my nationality against me, that kind of thing. You know, one day after he did what he would do from time to time, I just told him, I actually told the manager, you know, I said, hey, if this happens again, there'll be consequences. You know, I said it in a peaceful but firm way. And, you know, my point is that capoeira gave me that strength. And I just want to talk a little bit about what capoeira is. Capoeira's legacy, you know, it started in Angola, and it was brought to Brazil and developed in Brazil, and it was a way for Brazilian slaves at the time, right, to resist slavery, and it gave them strength, it gave them courage, it united them, and it was a way to train to build strength in a disguised way, right? So the people didn't know that they were actually strengthening themselves by doing capoeira because it looked like a dance. And, you know, a lot of Brazilian resistance against slavery was, capoeira had a big influence in it. And I have such a huge appreciation for the legacy of capoeira, you know, the ancestors that kept this art alive. Now, of course, we don't use it necessarily against slavery, but there's still oppression, you know, and capoeira has left that legacy. It strengthens community, you know. I've made some of my best friends in capoeira, some of the most loyal friends, and yeah, it all started with Mestre Amin, just getting out of Bahia, coming to LA with basically nothing, and establishing himself here and leading on, you know, teaching hundreds and hundreds of kids this art, which, you know, has been like a major shift for most of us, you know, because we could have gone a different path, and capoeira gave us strength, gave us community, gave us family to stay in a constructive path. So since the, you know, the title of my video today is Black is Beautiful, that is the first person I wanted to thank. Mestre Amin, who was like a mentor to me, you know, like a father figure. You know, I don't know if he knows that, but he's a father figure to a lot of us, you know, guys, kids, girls, women that, you know, here in the community here in LA. And you know, he's had a great impact in, you know, I'm sure a lot of our lives. And I wanted to thank him, even when he was busy. He took time, you know, with 2 kids at home, you know, wife and his academy and all this stuff. He took time always to meet with me and be there as a light, as a guidance, as a helping hand, lift me up. You know, he's taken his time to just be there for me so many times. And so I want to thank him, and I want to thank capoeira and the whole community. Anyways, I also want to thank Shirley Joe Finney, and I'm gonna, you know, go into like a few of my professors that I've had, who's had, you know, just a positive impact on my life. Shirley Joe Finney was a teacher of mine at CSUN during my, you know, my journey into getting my diploma as a filmmaker for film production. And she opened my mind, you know, she introduced me to the Hagen. I mean, everybody in that class was transformed by her class. Her passion that she brought, everything, it was just, it was, you know, it was incredible. And at the time, I you know, I was really afraid of getting out there and saying things, etc., whatever. And she had me act, you know, it was a directing class. She had me act. But she opened my mind to a whole new level, you know. I would see things in a very limited way, or directing, acting, that whole aspect of things, and she opened my mind to something way deeper. And myself as an artist, myself as an actor, as a director, she had a great influence, you know, in me, in my journey as a filmmaker. and I want to thank her. And you know, she's black, you know, and just beautiful person. I want to thank Mr. Doucet. I want to thank Mr. Doucet, who was an English teacher. I took about 3 classes with him at SMC, Santa Monica College. He's also someone else who, so sorry guys, you know, I'm just like a little nervous to say this, but little by little, you know, I'm allowing myself to be more and more truthful with myself, but I'm trying to do my best here from the heart. Some people are saying they don't understand what I'm saying. No problem. No hay problema. Desta vez estoy haciendo en inglés. Quien sabe otra vez yo hago puedo hacer en español, okay? Anyways, this time I'm doing it in English. And Mr. Doucet, man, Mr. Doucet, I took about 3 classes with him. 3 English classes, including a you know, creative writing class. And here's another compassionate guy, one of my favorite teachers throughout college. When I needed recommendation from teachers, right, I reached out to a few teachers. Some teachers, you know, weren't really willing to write me a recommendation letter. Mr. Doucet was like, yo, come over here, I'm writing, you know, of course I'll write you you know, a recommendation letter. And I had probably like 2, I guess, recommendation letters from professors, and he was one of them. I went to his office, he wrote me a recommendation letter, and, you know, wished me all the best. And, you know, he was always helpful, always open-minded, always willing to, you know, have conversations. Just like, also just loved what he did, you know, inspired all of us to become better writers. He was patient, he was kind, understanding, and you know, I don't remember the name of every teacher I've had, but he's one that I'll never forget. Him and Shirley Jo Finney. Mr. Doucet, just, you know, he gave us a book to read called The Handmaid's Tale. And, you know, this is like 10 years before the show even came out. And he would just give us all these, like, you know, different writings, books, and to just open our minds, you know. And I miss him. I don't know if I have his email. I kind of just want to contact him. And honestly, I've been wanting to contact him since I graduated college, because he was crucial in you know, me getting accepted to the college I did and all that, and crucial in my journey. Gosh. Let me just take a breath here. I get nervous, you know, and self-conscious. But anyways, I want to thank a good friend of mine. Kendall Life Perkins. Life. That's his nickname, his name, Life. His name is Life. And when all this was happening, I hit him up, you know. I was like, I want to hear from a good black friend of mine, you know, what is his point of view? And he's like, bro. I'm like, bro, what should I do, man? You know, I asked him. And he's like, bro, you're already doing it. You're alive. And interesting enough, his name is Life. I call him Life. And he's a DJ. And I appreciate having him. He was always there throughout my career as a DJ. For you guys that don't know, I've been DJing since I was like 15, and Life, from the moment I met him, he's always been there. So is Luis Rosario too. Shout out to Luis Rosario, always supporting me. Yeah, Life was always there, like ready to check out my music, ready to give me feedback, ready to share music, ready to freaking, you know, just support me in any way he could. You know, when I had a gig, when I shot my music video, he showed up. He always showed up. And Kendall, just a shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. And again, guys, this is a video. I'm just giving I'm giving my appreciation to all the black people in my life, because I've been greatly impacted by black people, by black culture, and by black music, everything, capoeira. I think it's all beautiful, and that's why this video is called Black is Beautiful. That's my theme. And you know, talking about life and music, I was a house music DJ for since I was like 15, okay? Since I was about 15. I've been a DJ for house music, and I've been like, music's been part of my life, right? And you know, we gotta mention the legacy of music that black people have left. Jazz, the rock and roll movement, right? Blues, jazz, the rock and roll movement, gospel, and then later with house, hip hop, you know, techno, disco, all that stuff. And it's enriched my life. My life wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't have such a rich life if it wasn't for this legacy that black people left through music, right? That started perhaps with them sharing their, you know, their suffering, their adversity and all that, you know, as a way to strengthening themselves. And it has inspired me, guys. It has inspired me. I was a house music DJ. To this day, you know, house is part of my life, you know, and music is part of my life. And rock was a big part of my life growing up. So is jazz, and just music in general, and that's black culture right there. That's black legacy right there, you know. And I want to thank black people that come before, you know, who's stayed strong and created all this. You've had a huge impact in my life and in the life of this planet, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Chicago movement with house, Detroit, and techno. I recognize all that, and I appreciate it. I want to thank my friends, my other friends, Frances Hale, for always being there as a friend. She's hired me when she did her pilot. She hired me to be an actor in one of her pilots. Just talented person, kind, loving person, beautiful person, I know. Claudette Welsh, who's another friend of mine, always there, willing to help with financial issues. You know, when I've reached out to her, hey, I need help with you know, figuring out this credit card thing and this and that, she's always like prompt to help. I've had, you know, anyways, I don't know if I should mention this, but I was deeply in love. Let's put it like that. I was deeply in love when I was like 16 years old. And, you know, I dated a beautiful, beautiful black girl. And she left her mark, you know? She left her mark. Beautiful person. And just helped me to be more real with myself, you know, check myself out. Of course, I can't not mention Kobe Bryant. I cannot mention or not mention Michael Jordan, Felipe Melo, who's one of my favorite players from in soccer. I want to thank also the pastors I listen to from Potterhouse 1 LA, Torre Roberts, Sarah Jake Roberts, You guys have greatly inspired me through your word, through your sharing. I want to thank you. These guys I met like last year, I was doing a job with my friend Nick Brosco, and we went to do a job for them, film some stuff from their church, and everybody there was so welcoming. Everybody there was so welcoming and so warm that I later I went up to some of the guys and I was like, hey, where do you guys meet and this and that, and I started attending to their church, and it's always been inspiring. It's been strengthening to go there, and just watch them. I want to thank Liz Brown, someone I listen to. If you've never heard of him, I would recommend. I listen to him from time to time. He's a motivational speaker. Okay. I wanna thank the writings of Richard Wright. I don't remember if it was high school, if it was college. I read Black Boy, and as an immigrant, I could relate to a lot of the struggles he went to. Of course, completely different experience. But his writings, his courage, his love, compassion that I saw in his writing, greatly inspired me to have resilience and all that. Martin Luther King, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. His legacy lives on. And yeah, these are just some people, some of the impact that Black people have had in my life, and I wanted to just make this video to show my appreciation for all the Black people in my life, for the culture that Black people have created, and all the positivity, all the enrichment that they've brought to my life and the life of everyone. And I think it's a legacy to be recognized. They've put so much hard work to build a lot of what we live in today, the infrastructure, all kinds of stuff, right, is based on their hard work. And I think that is something to be appreciated and recognized. And yeah, I guess that's it, guys. I mean, I probably left people out, friends out, so I'm sorry for that if I did. Those are the people that came to my mind. Some of the people that have greatly influenced me, given me strength, given me resilience to keep going. And, yeah, just giving me strength and resilience to keep going in the face of adversity. All these people have gone through so much adversity, so many challenges, and they still manage to keep their faith, keep their hope, keep fighting, for a better world, and keep rising, and still have later on compassion and kindness and all that to help everyone around them, to live, to rise as well. So yeah, I just want to thank you all. I appreciate you, and I recognize you. I recognize your value, and you're part of my life. I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for you. You made me better. You made me a better person. So thank you. And guys, I still have my turntables. Right? Same turntables, first ones I've had. And years ago, I was DJing for this event called Do You Think You Can No, wait. Hip Hop International. That's what it was. It became Do You Think You Can Dance, but it was called Hip Hop International. And you know, I brought my turntables. I was like sort of the main DJ for the whole event. And at the end, there was like a special guest, Kool Herc, came. And you know, Kool Herc is the guy who known to be the creator of hip hop, and he played on my turntables. And I was just, you know, like a few months ago when this whole thing started, like with the virus and all that and quarantine, I was like, man, should I sell my turntables, you know? And I was gonna just like sell it for the regular price. And then now, like making this video and thinking of all this, I was like, man, Kool Herc has played, and you know, I have played, and these turntables have so much history. But Kool Herc, you know, the creator of hip hop, man, the guy who mixed funk, who mixed James Brown, and made hip hop be hip hop. First DJ to, you know, mix in such a way, and at least the guy that took credit for that, played on my turntables. So these turntables are valued way more, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, that's it. I don't know if you know, I just tried to do my best here. This came to me. I wanted to share that. Hey Brunão, beleza, brother? I just want to share this from my heart, from a humble point, you know, truly. You know, when like a year ago, or a little more, you know, over a year and a half ago, I was at a job that I was so unhappy. I was like, man. By the way, it was like the only person I hugged in that job. It was like 2,000 employees, right? The only person I hugged was a black person, a black woman, Maria, and we hugged each other because, you know, it can be a cold world over here, you know, especially in the U.S., in the corporate world. And I remember we knew what's up, you know, and we would exchange that warmth, that human warmth. But anyways, I was at this job, and something in my heart was just like, dude, this job is not like where it's at, you know, for you. It's not your purpose, or something like that. I just didn't feel happy there. I didn't feel comfortable being there, like, you know, it wasn't right. And one day I cried to Mestre Amém, you know. I was like, man, I don't know what to do. And Mestre Amém taught me something that night that was pivotal for my, you know, freedom. And that was, he said, save money. Start saving money. And then, you know, when you have like a certain amount, then perhaps you can quit. But with more security, you know, with firm foot in the ground, with grounding. That, you know, nobody else has taught me that. And that's just one small example of the positive impact that black people have had in my life. And so I just thought, you know, this me expressing this was due. And yeah, that's it, guys. I tried to be as honest as I could here. Still a little nervous, of course, but that's it. Thank you so much.